Okay, good afternoon, everybody. It's good to see everybody on the webinar. You're coming in, you're piling in here today. Everybody got a lot of early folks joining this afternoon. Man, look at them coming in. Man, we got a lot of people ready to start some businesses. That's awesome. Today we got an interview with Tonia this afternoon. I'm going to introduce her in just a moment. I just want to make sure everybody's coming in. You can hear me clearly. It looks like we've got a good man. You're still coming in. Good job, everybody. Good to see everybody. Happy. I can still say Happy New Year to everybody. Still Happy New Year, man. We've made it through the first couple of weeks of January. Can you believe it? And here we go. We're starting off the year with a bang, and looking forward to having everybody on the webinar this afternoon. Ryan, thank you. Say it sounds clear. I appreciate you saying that. I love the feedback already. So listen, folks, understand that this webinar is for you. Although we're going to be interviewing Tonia here in a little bit, obviously, I want you to take the opportunity to ask some questions to her. And so, hey, get ready with some of your questions. Gregory, it's good to see you. Happy New Year to you as well. Appreciate it. I love the feedback, everybody. Man, y'all are like energetic. This is really, really cool. I love it. Sometimes I have to beg people to type something in there. So what I am going to do, since we've got such a large crowd today, type in just this, maybe if you want to type in the city and the state that you're calling in from this afternoon, that'll be helpful. I always like to kind of know the audience here and where we're all located. Some of you are probably still buried in the snow. Some of you are like us here in the Texas area. We're finally thawing out. I was finally able to let my dogs out today. And so can you imagine these dogs have been, shut up for the last 3 or 4 days here. So they were ready to bolt out this afternoon. All right. So we have some folks, Gregory's from the DC area. We've got Bernica, I hope I said your name right, from Massachusetts. It's Miller, good to see you. Flower Mound from Jay, good to see you. Got some folks here in Texas here as well. Jerome's from Connecticut. Thank you for piping in here. See, we got people all over the place. People that are probably buried, like I said, in the snow and more than what we've got here. A little bit, we had some snow around here in the Texas area. You know, whenever it snows down here, man, everything shuts down in Texas. So, man, school shut down, everything shuts down. So it's kind of funny. Folks, Keith is from Maryland, Demarius from New York, Natalie from Virginia. Good to see you. Aletha from Tennessee. Thank you, everybody. Y'all are a great crowd. Clarksville, Tennessee. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right. So, folks, we've got a lot of stuff going on. Oh, we got one more here from Orlando. Nicole, good to see you. Rochelle from Charlotte, North Carolina. Thank you. Goodness, you guys are all over the place. Thank you for sharing and telling me where you're from. Again, my name's Eric Auger. I'll be your host this afternoon, interviewing here Tonia here in just a moment. Toniette, it's from DFW area. So yeah, this is awesome. Got some Texans here today also. I'll be your host this afternoon, kind of driving this whole thing, looking over, watching the questions. As you can see here, I'm trying to being as prudent as I can to make sure everybody understands that we're here live today. ABS has been around for 30 years. I'm going to just take you on a little tour. For some of you know this. Some of you may be the first time. I've never seen some of your names, so you kind of might be new to this. But ABS has been around for 30 years, if you can believe it. I've been a part of that a little over half of that. I appreciate the Phillips family bringing me into their fold, of just being part of their family and the part of the ABS family. I've done just a little bit about everything around here. But one of the best things I enjoy doing is doing what I'm doing today, and that's doing these webinars with you week in and week out. And if you remember last week, we really kind of dove in some of the areas about how you're going to do some of your marketing. So if you had some people that, if you were on here last week, I'm going to be asking you, did you research your area, looking at some of your Chamber of Commerce's? Did you get the book downloaded for that I suggest that you get? And, I want to hear from you if you were on here last week. But let me tell you a little bit about the story of American Business Systems. It all started with this small little family right here, Patrick and Linda, Adam and Sarah. You see them. This was a few years back before ABS even started. And this was when Linda was actually asked if she could do some medical billing for somebody that needed some, they do what's called DME, durable medical equipment. So they needed some billing done for that. And then after a period of time, they started teaching others how to do this. So Patrick and Linda decided, hey, if we're doing this for some of our friends and family, let's start trying to share this and how you can do this on your own. And ABS was birthed back then. And then as time has gone on, obviously over 30 years, you know, some people would like to shut it down a little bit and retire and sit back a little bit. And Patrick has turned the helm over to Adam, and Adam is now our CEO of ABS. So some of you may be even talking with Adam. So he is the CEO of the company. He has written a book called 9 Ways Doctors Let Money Slip Through Their Fingers. He is a contributing author to a magazine called BC Magazine. I just heard today that he has been asked to write another article. And folks, it's going to be a great article that's going to be coming out. It's what's probably on everybody's mind. It has to do with medical billing and artificial intelligence. We are all been working behind the scenes, pulling all of our information together because a lot of people are asking about that. You know, if is there going to be medical billing after AI? I promise you, I can tell you already there is. So, but he's putting together a great article right now together. We're putting some information on our for a future website not a website, future webinar to do that. But Adam, one of the contributing things that Adam has brought to the table with ABS since it started was an organization called MIRMA. Now, MIRMA is an organization that obviously you're going to be a part of once you become a part of ABS. That'll be the Medical Revenue Management Association of America. So not only are you getting trained and you're going to get your certification, but you're going to be a part of the Medical Revenue Management Association of America. And you'll be able to put those initials on not only your certification, as you can see there, but also on your business cards and all of your marketing material, so that when doctors are going, okay, are you a part of any organizations? Where did you get your training? How did you get started in all this? You can always take them back to MIRMA. And you can actually go there right now, MRMAA.org. You can go out there and go check it out right now. What drives everything is obviously our platform that comes along with the training and the support that you have here. It's called iClaim and EMRX. It's one of the most unique platforms of billing and electronic medical records out there in the market. It is powered by our partner, NextGen. There's not many people that can say that they've partnered with such a large company, but we can say that we are. We're partnered with them. We've been a partner of them for a long time. Matter of fact, we were actually partnered with the people that created iClaim and EMRX for us back several years ago. And then NextGen actually bought that company out. Now we're still part of the NextGen family, and we're very happy and pleased to be a part of that. But not only do we have iClaim and EMRX, we have all these different services that'll help support you, whether it's in virtual care, which is remote patient monitoring, chronic care management. If you know anything about that, you know, this is a big area. So folks, if you don't know anything about that, you might want to go do a little research out there called remote patient monitoring and chronic care management. This is something that doctors can do. It actually helps them keep their patients for better care. But it also has a revenue stream in there for the doctors that they can bill for. So if you're doing this as a medical revenue manager, anything that you're doing to help create more revenue for the doctors, that's what it's all about, isn't it? Now, let me go back over there one more time. Not only do we have that, but those that are concerned about coding, we have two services there. You see Audit Guard and CodeWrite. Now, both of those are for that will help you out with any of your coding needs for your doctors. So all of that's there. Then we have other ancillary services, and those that really want to do some dental billing, we actually have a platform for you to do some dental billing. Now, to learn a lot how to get successful into launching your medical billing business, if you'll go back to our website, up in the right-hand corner, you'll see the big old download, our 5 secrets to success. If you'll go download that, it won't take you much, your first, last name, and an email address. We already have your contact because you're here today, but this is just so that you get the link. You won't change the person that you're talking with here at ABS, but it'll get you the link so you can download this really nice PDF. And it goes through all the different parts of what it means. There's 5 different parts of what we call what makes a successful medical biller. So you're going to want to get that in your hand as quickly as possible, because this will be an extreme help for you as you're doing your due diligence. Folks, you didn't come here just to hear me talk this whole time. You're here to come hear Tonia Flowers this afternoon. So, Tonia, I'm going to ask you to pop on here on your video. I see that you're there. Tonia, it's good to see you. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you
Yeah, thank
all.
yeah,
Thank
thank you
you.
for joining us this afternoon. Now, you're in the Texas area, but you said you were from once up north, so this Texas weather is no
Yes.
big deal for you.
Well, I've gotten spoiled since I'm originally from Nebraska, but I've been here for 30 years. So I've gotten spoiled to the warm weather all year round. So it's only going to last a week or two. So I'm handling that.
Absolutely. Yeah. We know that even we could even have some, it always seems like in February could be one of the coldest months. So we'll see how February comes along
I'm
here.
hoping
But
not.
yeah.
But
Well,
it's better than 3 and 4 months. So I'll take
that's true. Yeah, two or
right.
three days a week at a time that we can take that all day long. Well,
Right.
you and I were talking a little bit before. The last time we did an interview with you, I think was back in 2022, but you actually started with ABS. When was that? What year
I
was that?
started December 2018, and it
2018?
was in person at the time. Cynthia Anderson was the trainer,
Yeah.
and yeah, so I've been in this business for 6 years now.
Well, one of the first questions I want to ask you now, this is where I'm going to ask the audience out here. This is a time for you to start putting in your questions because remember, I want you to be able to have a conversation with Tonia as we're going through this afternoon. But one of the first questions I'm going to ask you is there a market out there for medical billing?
Most definitely, especially now that the pandemic have happened, the providers are realizing that they have a cash crunch because it was at a standstill for a period of time. So now that I've been in this business, I have providers calling me, asking me if there's still the opportunity of doing that billing. Are you still in that business because they need help? So there's definitely a marketing out there for this.
Yeah. So you think the business has actually increased since the pandemic then?
Yes, it has.
Yeah.
Yes, it has.
Yeah, I think I've seen the same thing on my end. I've got some folks that I know that are still in billing. I used to have two medical billing companies, and I'm actually I think you and I were even talking about this earlier that once you get into healthcare, especially in the medical billing, the doors start opening up for other avenues that you can do
Right,
other things in healthcare. Uh, but one of the things that I still get calls ever so often, hey, can you do my medical billing? Well, I go, well, I know somebody who can.
right,
So, uh, but yeah, it's great that that doctors are actually calling and searching and researching, whether they need help or not, we might not know there, but it's certainly it's still it's strong out there.
right.
There's a couple of questions that have come in, and this is a good place to ask this one question. Jay's asking a question. So basically, when you began, how do you deal with the question from a doctor's office about how long you've been in business when you're just kind of getting started out? How did you kind of handle that area of that type of question there?
Well, with that, I would just say that I, if I don't have a background in it, the thing that's good for this business is that it is integrated clearinghouse. So and it's cloud based, so everything is going to be available to you.
Yeah,
As far as if it doesn't matter the experience because all of this is all integrated with for you as well as the support system is going to be there for you as
you
well.
bet. Jay, one of the ways
And
that, oh, go
another
ahead.
thing is another thing is there's the average rejection rate is 30 to 45%. This is offering you a rejection rate of less than 2%. So there you're saving a third of your income
Yeah, you bet.
just with this software, as well as being able to verify eligibility. You don't have to sit on the phone for hours and wait to know if this person has benefits. We're integrated with the payer, so we're talking directly to the payer, so you get that answer back in 2 minutes, if less or less.
You bet. Yeah. Jay, one of the ways that and this is one of the things that we're going to teach you in the training class is because obviously there's so many people that just getting started, of developing I don't know if you were on my webinar last week or the one before, but it's learning how to develop what I call a business story. Once you start to learn your business story, just like what Tanya's talking about, she has a story. She has a story about, hey, it doesn't matter really. She's not saying this to the doctor, but there are some things here that regardless of how long I've been in business, there's some things here as a business person speaking to another business person. So there's a lot of things that can happen there. So Jay, one of the things that we'll teach you is that, being part of the nation's largest group of independent medical billers through MIRMA, you've just opened up maybe like a local office of that. And so, but we've got associates that have been doing this billing for over 30 years. So that's one of the ways that we handle that. Usually it doesn't come up a whole lot because of so much of the things that we're teaching to do on the front end. Rarely does a doctor even ask, well, are you just getting started? That's why I like to make sure that people that are doing their due diligence right now, try not to go out there and do any, what I would call pre-marketing. That's where you'll find the danger. Because you don't know what you don't know, and you don't know how to answer those questions. But so Jay, kind of just put a bow on your question there. We're going to teach you and train you how to almost avoid those questions, especially being a part of ABS. And then you could even have a letter from Dr. Vicki Rachner introducing you to a doctor. So when you've got one doctor suggesting to another doctor that they might want to look at your services, a lot of that kind of goes away there. So hopefully that helps you understand. And having your credentials with being a CMRM, those kind of things kind of take its place. So all right. And Jay says, and being certified helps build credibility. Yeah, absolutely. Yep, good answer. Perfect. I'm glad that we got to take care of that. Yeah, so we kind of dealt with, is there a market? There is so many things that get opened up. Now, we talked about a market for billing, but also, because I'm addressing a question that's coming in from Tonia. Can you also do credentialing? You want to answer that question?
Yes, I'm actually doing credentialing, and that's from a referral from a doctor I was doing billing for. He had a provider that needed billing done or credentialing done for him. So I also do credentialing as well. So that's just a different stream of income for me as well.
Perfect. Now, for
and
those
the thing about ABS is there's a variety of different streams that you can have income for.
Absolutely.
As far as collection, there's quick collect. I-claims, of course, and code right as far as your coding. So there's different streams of income that you can have with this business.
Yes, absolutely. For those that don't know anything about what we're talking about, credentialing, let me kind of explain that to you in a nutshell real quickly. So when a doctor gets started and they need to make sure that they can take Medicare or Blue Cross Blue Shield or Aetna or Cigna, they need to provide their credentials to that insurance company and do a whole lot of paperwork there to make sure that they can receive payments from those insurance companies. And then they go into what's called network with them. So there's a process of getting that done. So that's what's called credentialing. Now, Tonia's doing credentialing on her own. We actually have another service called Credentials Now that if you don't know what to do with credentialing, there is a service that will do that for you. And you can charge the doctor to get that done with a little bit of override on yourself that you can start making some money off of that. But if you don't know anything about credentialing, folks, that can be done there. And so when we start talking about, is there a market? Folks, there's a lot of different avenues in what I would call the revenue cycle part of medicine that's out there. And there's a lot of doctors that need that help. Real quickly, tell us your story real quickly, Tonia. How quickly did you get your first doctor? How many doctors do you have now? And then we'll start tackling some of these other questions here in just a moment.
Sure. So right now I have 5 providers. 4 of them reside in Dallas and 1 in Nevada, which that is another marketing avenue as well. You don't have to necessarily be in the same city that you're in. It could be anywhere in the United States that you can do this building.
Fiorelia, I'm sorry, I'm butchering your name, Miss Gomez. I'll just say that. She was asking, how did you get your first client, and how long did it take you to get that first client?
Yes, so I did all the networking that was advised to us. I followed the process. So I did the Chamber of Commerce, the Master Networks, the BNI. Everywhere there was networking, I was there. Passing out my business cards, doing that 30-second commercial that they allow you to do, and just telling them that this opportunity is out there. And every time that I got up and spoke about this, because it's rare and unheard of that you can get your payments paid within 14 days, the doctor is like, sign me up, because
Yeah.
normally it's 30 to 45 days because you're grouped with a lot of providers. So I would just go and do my 30 seconds commercial. And at the Chamber of Commerce, I did my 30-second commercial, and there happened to be a provider in there and she needed my help. And so that was 8 months into this business that I got my first client.
So I'm going to remind everybody the webinar I did last week. If y'all heard me, if those are on the call today, if you heard me from last week, I talked about going to a Chamber of Commerce, go to maybe a BNI group, go to these networking because these are made for business people to do business with other business people. So a lot of times you're not trying to market directly to doctors. In Tonia's case, there was actually a doctor there that actually needed her help. And so the Chamber of Commerce's and these organizations like BNI give you an opportunity to talk about your business for maybe 30 seconds, maybe a minute. And then people start coming asking you questions. I've gone to breakfasts where I've gone up and stood up and just shared my little spiel. People start flocking to you right afterwards going, hey, I think I might have somebody that might be able to help you, because these networking meetings is for trying to figure out how I can help somebody else. And that's what these things are all about. So MD is asking how do we find clients? Does ABS provide the clients for you? No, we don't provide the clients, because if that were the case, we would have already had the clients and we would already be doing the billing. So like Tonia's saying, this is your business. So these are your business clients, your book of business, just like she's got her book of business. These are all of hers. She wasn't grandfathered to any clients. She went out there, she got her own clients. They're her clients. Nobody can take those clients away from you. So there you go. So you've got 5 doctors. Tell us what kind of doctors are these?
One of my doctors is sports medicine.
Okay.
One of my doctors is in pain management. So therapy, physical therapist, doctor, and the other one's a neurologist.
Okay. Wow, you've got some pretty big headers out there.
Yeah.
So do you do all the work yourself?
I do right now. I do all of it right now.
So you can handle 5 doctors right now by yourself?
Yes, and that's because there's a great support system. The system is user friendly.
Yep.
The denial defender is available, which will not let you send out a claim that's not clean. It's not going to let you send it to that payer, because it'll get rejected. So that's how we're able to offer less than 2% rejection rate.
There you go. I'm going to switch gears here. We're going to talk a little about the training. Now, when you started back in 2018, December of 2018?
Yes.
You were probably one of the last few classes that we actually had live training.
Right.
And that was a 5-day live training class. Do you remember those days?
I do.
It was probably drinking out of a fire hydrant. It was pretty intense.
Yes.
It was like, because it was, even though it was Monday through Friday, it was 4 full days, and Friday was a half day.
Right.
And folks, the way that we have it now, I'm going to show you here. We've got 10 modules, and basically we took all 10 of these modules and plus and crammed it into 4.5 days of training. So you can only imagine how those trainings. Now, there were great trainings because there were so many dynamics and a lot of people asking questions and a lot of role playing, a lot of hands-on working type stuff. But we've really slowed it down now. We've got the same trainer that you went through training. She does most of the training now, but it's online. And so what we do, we take each of these modules over a period of time. So instead of trying to crunch in you know, all of this information into 5 days. It takes people probably about 2 weeks now to get through training, and it kind of gives some people a little breathing room there and we're seeing a lot of success with these folks. But so whenever you came out of training at a 2018, so you had your first client sometime in 2019 then.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
awesome.
Mhm.
So some of the things that you're going to learn during the training is obviously how to use some of the marketing materials, the new Thriving Medical Practice book, 9 Ways Doctors Let Money Slip Through Their Fingers. Dr. Vicki Rackner becomes part of your business partnership there as a brand new ABS business owner. Again, you've got all the different supports from Myrma and I'm trying to see here. Instead of the big classroom that we used to have, again, all of this is online. It's a one-on-one training for you, so it's pretty easy to kind of get through. All right, so we're almost coming at the bottom of the hour. I'm telling you, Tanya, these hours go by so fast.
I
It's
know, right?
amazingly how it goes.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to some of these questions here now. Tonette, you were saying I've been trying for 20 years. I'm not sure what you've been trying 20 years to get started in billing. I'm not sure. You might want to help clarify that. Gregory is asking, this is a great question for you. Do I need to know medical codes right off the bat?
No, you don't. They're all based on the provider specialty is going to be customized for you.
And that's all in the iClaim platform.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So whenever a doctor gets started in iClaim, we get all of these different codes placed in there. But folks, if you need help with any of the other codes, CodeWrite is part of one of your services that you can kind of go through, and if you really need some help with coding. But once you start getting involved in the iClaim and EMRX part of it, these codes are already populated there for you.
Right.
Matter of fact, let me take this moment here to remind everybody that's on the call today that if you want to get back with your business coach that you're working with here and do a demonstration of the software, that's probably the best thing that you can
Yeah.
do to really kind of know what you're getting into before that. Do you remember doing a demo before
Yes,
you?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, how important is seeing that demo before you get started?
Oh, it helped me make my decision.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
really
So
did.
folks, if you haven't done that, yeah, be sure to do that. All right. So Carrie Ann is asking you, how is marketing handled in regards to getting new clients? Do you have to go out to the individual doctor's office personally to try to sell your products? You want to talk about that?
Well, I have, because you want to gain the trust. So I have went out into the doctor's office, and they give you all the marketing tools to provide for that doctor. So if you can go, that's great. I would suggest, because you're trying to build a relationship of trust with the provider, and and if not, you can always mail the information as well. So there's just
Sure.
different ways of doing it. You can also go on YouTube, and let them know what all your practice entails. There's just social media is a good platform to be on. We also have an ABS group out there for any questions that you may
Yep.
have or that you may need. So the support is there. So if whatever you feel comfortable. Some people hire people to do their marketing, so it's just whatever level of comfort you feel is best for you.
Yeah, let me share with everybody here. I made mention of this book, The New Thriving Medical Practice. And so once you become an ABS business owner here, one of the marketing pieces that you're going to get is these books. And now what's important on these books is that your name actually goes on the front cover of the book
Mhm.
with your credentials, CMRM. That means you're a certified medical revenue manager. Now, for those that are a little concerned about why would a doctor end up using you? Well, folks, if you're handing out a book like this
Mhm.
to a doctor and your name's on the front cover and you've written the forward to the book, a lot of that questions, whether are you just getting started, kind of just goes away. Now, I can tell you that during the pandemic, I don't know if you've heard this story, Tanya, but during the pandemic, obviously we couldn't get out. There were some
Right.
licensees that couldn't get out, business owners that couldn't get out. So they started mailing these books to the doctors.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got one person here that mailed out 3 books and ended up getting 3 clients out of it.
Right.
Yeah. So this is how. So for those that are might be a little bit afraid of going out, and I almost wanted to say, you're really not trying to sell anything. That's part of. If we could kind of erase that out of everybody's
Right.
minds, you're not really trying to sell the doctors on anything. You've got to understand that doctors have a problem, and you have a solution. So let's put it in context. If you have a severe cold or a severe cough, do you have to let the doctor sell you to go see that doctor? No. You got a problem, you got a pain, you go to the doctor to get it fixed. That's what this whole business is about. It's very
Right.
similar to that process. I had someone ask me about 2 or 3 weeks ago if I could help another doctor with this billing. And I said, yes. And he, first of all, asked me, well, Eric, what are you going to charge? I said, you know what? I can give you a number, but until I do a practice analysis on that doctor, I can't figure out. I don't know what's wrong with the doctor. I said, it's like me walking to a doctor's office telling him to fix all of my pains and aches and everything I've got wrong with me without him
Mhm.
or her doing an examination on me.
Right.
So everybody understands that you go to a doctor, you get tests run, you get blood work done, you do a lot of different things, and then the doctor takes all that information and he says, okay, well, looks like you have this problem, and it looks like this is a way that we can solve that problem. That's what this business is about. So if I could encourage everybody to understand, let's stop thinking that we're trying to sell our business to a doctor. We want to become a solution provider for the doctor. And whenever you get out into those business meetings, like Tonia and I are talking about, and you start talking about your solutions, you talk about the problems that doctors have and the solutions that you have, that's a big help. You'll get that done.
Yes.
Jerome is asking a question. Can you provide a little bit more insight on the code write piece? Did you ever use code write at all?
I didn't. I didn't use code right.
Yeah. And probably because you didn't really need it because, again, the services with inside
Right.
of iClaim already does that.
Yes.
Um, Alith is asking, how much coding do you do, and did you get specific training to code? So,
I did not get any training to code. You don't need any training to code because, like I said, they customize the codes based on the doctor's specialty. So if there's a cardiologist, all those codes are going to be customized based on the cardiologist that you're billing for.
yeah,
Um,
I think, again, I want to try to help our audience here.
okay.
Whenever people trying to figure out if they want to get into medical billing, they probably have people that talk to them all the time. I'm sure you had people say, Tanya, why are you going to get into medical billing? You don't know anything about coding. Why would you do that? And people, have big educations. They probably say, well, you need to get coding underneath your belt and all that. Folks, you got to understand that you're coming in and you're trying to be a business owner. And a lot of times when business owners come in, they're bringing solutions with them. And that's what this whole business is about. So
Right.
when we populate this back up here on the screen, I'm going to put this back up over here. Folks, day one, when you start with American Business Systems, you
Mhm.
have people that can code for your doctors. Day one. If the doctor needs help with their HIPAA compliancy part, you can take them through compliancy guard. That's what that's all about. If the doctors need help with old money, trying to chase down AR, a lot of the old money there, quick collect and choice pay can actually help that process out. So folks, we've got all the solutions and we've got newer solutions that we're bringing to the table pretty much all the time too. So there's probably not a lot that you'll be faced with that you go, I don't think, doctor, I don't think I can help you with that. So there's a lot of things that we bring to the table there to kind of help you out there. So that hopefully that'll help. Let's see. Let's see if I got any new questions here. Okay, so Tanya, this is from Jay again. What does a
Okay.
typical work day look like for you? How do you spend your time? You have 4 clients. How many more could you bring on before you bring on staff? Well, she actually has 5 clients, correct?
Right. Yeah,
Okay,
I
so
have
Jay,
5.
she's got 5. So tell us what a typical day looks like for you. How do you spend your time? And when would you need to bring on more people?
Um, well, right now, I feel like in the next 2 providers that I attain, I will need to bring on some help. I work less than 30 hours. Most of it is just, submitting out claims. Don't do a lot of having to call as far as rejections, like I said, because the rejection rate is less than 2%. And we check eligibility first. So I don't spend 40 hours at work.
Yeah. And
And
you're working from home.
I'm working from home.
There you go. That's the best
Yeah.
thing.
And whenever I want to go on vacation, I just take my laptop with me and I work. So
There you go.
I could never go back to corporate.
Never go back. So
Freedom.
what did you do before? What did you do before you
Well,
got?
my background is in healthcare.
Yeah.
So I got the chance to see in 2005 when providers had to start submitting their claims electronically. I
Yeah.
had witnessed a lot of practices having to close their business because they weren't able to get recuperated for the claims that they submitted. They had hundreds of thousands of dollars out there that they couldn't get because they didn't know how to bill electronically. So, and I couldn't tell them how. So, that was frustrating seeing people having to lose their business, their practice
Sure.
after 30 years. And so that's my why. I wanted, and so I was like, there's got to be a better way. So I started researching, and I came across ABS and start going to the webinars every Thursday. And then in December 2018, I took that leap of faith and then left my corporate job and with no regrets.
There you go. There you go. You're
Um,
working for yourself.
6
There you
years
go.
in.
There you go.
And the thing of it is the lifetime support. This is your business. You're building a legacy, actually, and
Yes.
as well as helping the community, as well as try and lower our insurance. Is through the roof. Insurance payments are. So yeah, just trying to help them. Just let them know that this is out there. It's so
You
important.
bet. And I love what you said because I've shared this on many webinars that we've done, especially with people that I've done some interviews with. And to me, you made one of the best cases for doing this is that you've helped the community. Because
Yes.
again, folks, if you really dive in and see the depths of what we're talking about here, if a doctor is struggling getting paid, he or she struggles trying to take care of the patients that are coming in the door. Because in the back of their mind, they're going, am I going to get paid on this patient?
Right.
So you've got to understand that the psychology behind of what we're doing is huge. If you get a doctor not worried about getting paid, that actually builds your community's healthcare system even better. So we don't say that just because it sounds like a great cliche to say. It truly
No,
is.
it really
You're
is.
helping your neighbors within your community.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. There's lots of questions here, so let me kind of get through some of these. Let me see. How do you work with your clients who have already? Okay. So Latif is asking, how do you work with clients who already have their own system and don't want to switch to the iClaim EMRX platform?
When I do the demonstration and let them know this is less than 2%, you're not having to sit on the phone for hours at a time to do verification of eligibility. Those are plus to me, as far as getting them to change their system.
Sure.
If you do a practice analysis, a lot of these doctors, yeah, they make a lot of money, but they lose a lot of money too. They're leaving 30 to 40% of their income on the table. And
Yeah.
once they see that, they don't realize that. And then they're like, whoa, let me look into this system. But I think once the pandemic happened, they realized it. And so they realized that they're in a cash crunch. The
Yes.
pandemic, the pandemic was eye-opening for some of these providers because
Yeah,
we think they make
absolutely.
a lot of money, but they leave a lot more on the table.
Boy, don't they ever. Don't they
Yes.
ever.
So with
So
them seeing those numbers and how much we can bring in on the table for them, I get a lot of them to change their mind. Matter of fact, I had them calling me once the pandemic was over on, are you still doing that billing? I need help. I have a cash crunch. They weren't able to submit claims. So now they're calling me. So just the word just needs to get out there that this is available to them because they
you
don't know.
bet. You bet. Millie's asking now she's asking your average ROI annually. So we're not going to get into your details, but what we can ask is when did you get your return on investment? So you made your upfront investment with you. You went through the
Right.
training, you got your first client. How long did it take you to get your what's known as the ROI?
I would say a year.
Yep. Okay. That's
Yeah,
usually what we say is you,
one client, you get your money back in
yep,
return.
one client. Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely. Rochelle, you're saying that training is free and how much is everything else? Training is not free. Training is part of the support that you're buying here, invested in. So I can kind of go over the cost on all that here towards the end, and I'll do that. So but I'm gonna keep your question up there for here as we get towards the end. Let's see, man, there are a lot of questions. I'm trying to go through these in somewhat
Okay.
of an order of what we're how we're talking through things here. Uh, Tonia is asking, do the doctors only want you to do their aged accounts receivable?
No, when the providers that I have, I do it all. I'm doing their revenue cycle management.
Yeah. It looks like she's probably done some of this before, and she looks like she's you even used Metasoft. And that's an old platform. So, Tonietta, if you're working with somebody here, some of these our business coaches can certainly help you through that. And if you haven't seen again a live demonstration of the iClaim EMRX platform, I certainly would encourage you to do that.
Yes.
Farina, you asked if how much time it takes. I think you've already answered that. You said about 30 hours during the week
Yeah,
for your
or
five
less.
clients.
Right.
Okay, so Gregory's asking, how did you onboard a new client? Do you load software on their computers? You want to take that question?
Um, well, no, I don't. Actually, the the software provider does that for you, so you don't have to do any of that. As
Yep.
far as uploading the new client's information, they will do all that for you.
And another question being asked is, do you get any objections from providers when working from home?
I don't. No,
Yep. Yeah, they don't
I
care
don't.
where you do the bill,
No,
as
as long as it's when they
long as
see
it's
that
getting done.
when they see that they're getting their check 7 to 14 business days, they
They
don't
wouldn't care
say
if you're on a cruise.
no, they don't. And sometimes I am.
As long as it's that billing's getting done, they
Yeah,
could care less where you're coming
right.
from.
And there's client reports generated weekly. It's very transparent, so they can see that the work is being done. It's
Absolutely.
very transparent. They can log in. They have a login, and they can log in and see the reports of where they are.
Yeah, you bet.
Mhm.
Anthony is asking, what's your estimated claim submission per day? How many claims do you putting in per day?
Per day, I would say about 30.
30 claims?
Hmm.
That's not a lot to do there. So that I can see why you're only working about probably 5 to 6 hours a day. That's pretty good.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
All right. So I'm going to show everybody else. Let's kind of talk about. I'm gonna actually want to save that question there. I want to go over here to this question here. So let's talk about support. You mentioned that support's a lifetime. Tell us about your experience with support here at ABS.
Oh, if somebody that I call doesn't know it, they're gonna find the answer for you. They're gonna find out somebody that has the answer for you, as well as there's a Facebook group that
Yep.
have questions. You can go on there with any of your questions, and if there's not someone there that can answer it, we're gonna find the answer for you. There's somebody that has encountered what you have.
And when you call support here, you're not kind of going through this. You're actually getting a live person
You're
here.
getting a live person.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And if it does roll to a voicemail, you're going to get called back pretty quickly.
Right back. Yeah.
On that. Yeah. Because folks, again, we're here to help support you. That's part of what you're investing in is your training, your support, and obviously all the different services here for a lifetime. And part of the support is actually doing the kind of getting you set up. So let's also talk about some of the aspects of what support actually kind of brings to the table. So did you have support help you with your making sure that your billing rate is where it needed to be and helping you with your contracts with your doctors? Did they help you support you
Yes.
in all that?
Yeah, I had a person help me with that, with the contract. They would look over that first and then come back with any suggestions that they may have.
Good. Now, are you doing all that on your own now? You kind of got it underneath your belt at this point?
I do.
Yeah.
I got a handle on it.
Yeah, I figured it because what does it take you one or two times and you kind of get it figured out and you go, you always know that support's there if you need it, but
Right.
it's always good to know that you've kind of learned this on your own and you just kind of get into a group and you know,
Yeah, you do. You
yeah,
do.
I mean, if you need us, you know that we're always here. Um, Now, I know that through our licensee, what's called a licensee support site, folks, just kind of let you know about this. This is another support mechanism. Obviously, we have live support that kind of runs Monday through Friday, usually during regular business hours, as you can think about it. But on the licensee support site, that is a support site that's a website that you'll have a login access to. It's got over 300 business documents, which is going to have all of your contracts and presentations and more training and more in-depth training if you need to, some more interviews with some other owners if you need to. We always keep up with industry updates and ongoing webinar trainings. The personalized books from Dr. Vicki Rackner if you need any of that. Um, the support side is been a huge help for people like Tonia. I don't even know if you go there. I mean, you probably have everything that you need, but you ever often go out to the support site?
No, not only if I need to order some more marketing tools
Yeah.
will I go online, but for the most part,
Yeah, I
um,
know that once you got in there and you got most of everything that you need, you've kind of got it downloaded. You kind of know
mhm,
what's going on there.
right.
Jerome is asking, are there specialties that have high rejection rates? I've been privileged to speak to a doctor psychiatrist, and they mentioned that most psychiatrists in private practice don't take insurance because the pay is low, or in some cases, high rejection rates. So they prefer only cash, thereby missing out on insurance clients. Have you tried to work with any psychiatrists that you know of?
I don't have any, but I haven't heard the rate was low because mental issue is so
Oh my goodness,
on the
yes.
rise now that they now it's now a benefit where they do pay for issues.
Yeah, yeah, I'm telling you, especially since the pandemic, that's a
Right.
huge area. And I would say, Jerome, if you've got a doctor that is afraid to take insurance because it's so low, this is one of those reasons why, you know, they probably ought to be on iClaim. That's what we have found. I think,
Yeah,
getting the doctors on the right platform, someone doing their billing correctly is always a huge help. So,
it is.
that's something I wouldn't shy away from because as Tanya says, the mental health right now is a big
Yes.
issue going on right now. And so
Right.
more and more doctors are depending upon seeing patients that have insurance on that. Anita's asking, does the client need to use the EMR offered? Is there an avenue to integrate their EMR with the system? So what do you say about that? If the doctor already has an EMR system, have you ever tried to integrate iClaim with their EMR system?
I never had done anything like that. Um, I just feel like if they don't change, then we can't offer them the less than 2% rejection rate or, provide them with weekly reports. It's just not transparent to
Yeah.
me.
Let me share this screen up over here, and it kind of shows that iClaim, EMRX, the clearinghouse, and the patient portal is what we call a true cloud-based integrated system. And so that's what Tanya's saying, Anita, is that can iClaim be integrated with another doctor's EMR system? I know that it can be, but you lose a lot in because you're missing out on so many things with the reports and everything else that kind of goes along with it. So,
Mhm.
Anita, if you're very interested in this, again, I'm going to encourage you to get back with your business coach and ask them to do a demonstration for you. I'm telling you, Anita, whenever if you do the practice analysis correctly, you end up doing a demo for a doctor like Tonia has done. It's not long for the doctors to go, you know what? I'm not so tied to my system. I'd rather get paid than be tied to a system that I maybe have invested some
Right.
money into. So they kind of just cut their losses and they move forward. So that's what we find quite often. You've already said that already in the webinar. You've had doctors say, "Well, yeah, whatever you got to do, help me through this."
Yes. Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's see. So Anita, thank you for your question there. There are some other people asking about how much it costs. I'm going to get that towards the end. Who does the client call if they have problems with the software? You want to answer that one?
If they have, they would call me because I'm their revenue cycle manager. So they would call me, and then I would take care of that.
Yep, you bet. Let me let this call go, and I'll tell that person I'm gonna call him back here in a minute. Here we go. Let's kind of do a wrap up. My goodness, we got about 9 minutes left, if you can believe this.
Okay.
Folks, if you got any last minute questions you have for Tonia, please get them in now. I mean, we literally had question after question after question that have come in. So I
Good
appreciate
thing.
everybody's participation. You did a great job, Tanya. You got
Thank
them all
you.
shaking
Thank you, guys.
their minds. Uh,
Good.
let's see. Is there a percentage? So this is from Anthony. Is there a percentage that you charge a certain provider for your services?
Yeah, I charge a minimum 7%, maximum 12%. But yeah, and then we negotiate that together of what's
Good. I mean,
fair.
I'm glad to hear that you're up even at the 12% part of it, man, because I'm telling you, if you're doing a great job and the doctor's getting paid, they don't mind getting paid and paying
You know,
you.
I'm
So,
right.
all right. So you've got just a few minutes, kind of to share to the group here. What do you recommend? What should they be doing now? Um, are you? I'm going to ask before you answer that question. Are you afraid of this whole thing about artificial intelligence in medical billing?
No, I'm actually excited about it, and
Glad you said
hopefully,
that.
the payers will come on board.
Yeah,
I believe that that will cut the cost of the insurance, really, to
yeah.
make it more affordable. So
So you're
I'm
not afraid
excited
of it.
about it. I'm not. I'm excited. They're always medical. The medical is always going to be here. It's
Yep.
not going anywhere. And so
I'm
if they
glad you
can make
said
it
that.
better for our health reasons and for our loved ones to live longer, then I'm all for it.
There you go. There you
Yeah,
go. All right.
I'm
So kind of
excited
give
about
your closing statement here. You got the audience here. What do you want to tell them? What do you think they ought to be doing?
it.
So just kind of just share what you
Well,
want to tell.
this business has been a blessing for me. It allowed me to be a caretaker for my parents when they were transitioning. I was still able to have an income. And as well as now, I hadn't had to have to go back to corporate. And so it's going to allow me to leave a legacy. So it was the best decision that I ever made.
That's a great way to end it. I mean, to
That's,
leave a legacy for others and taking care of your mom and dad and your parents
yeah,
there. That's so
right.
good. Being able to work from home, we were able to do the same thing with my wife's mom and dad, and it's a blessing that being home, close to home, and taking
Mhm.
care of them. That's a great way
It's
to
such a blessing, yes.
yeah, a great
Yeah,
way to kind of wrap up here. Tanya, thank you for your time this afternoon. I told you,
thank you.
I got 5 minutes left. We got five
Okay.
minutes before the top of the hour. It goes by so quickly.
It does, it does.
Well, thank you again. Happy New Year to you. Keep going out there and getting some more clients where you have to hire some.
Okay, all right, awesome, that's my goal.
There you go. Thank you, Tanya. I'm gonna wrap this
Thank
thing
you.
up. Thank you.
Okay,
Thanks. Bye
bye,
bye.
y'all.
All righty. So thank you. I appreciate her time being here. So folks, you've got some questions here. We're really up at the 5 minute mark here, and I want to kind of help everybody and kind of help out with a few questions here. First of all, there is a 30-day money back guarantee. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the cost here because there's got to be a 30-day money back guarantee for something. So for those that don't know what the cost is right at $30,000. That cost includes everything that we've talked about, the training, the support, all the access to all the different services. Um, and so everything that we have here is included. Now, what's important for you to understand is that once you've made that investment, you still have 30 days to decide whether this is the right business. I'm telling you that there is no other business opportunity or franchise in the market today that gives a 30-day money back guarantee. And this is included while you're going through your training. Remember, I told you it's probably going to take you about 2 weeks to get through training. And then you got probably another 2 weeks after that before you make your decision of whether you're going to stay with American Business Systems or not. This is the best guarantee that you're going to find out there whenever it comes down to franchises slash business opportunities. So, there's not a we're taking on a bigger risk than you're taking because obviously we're going to teach you everything. The only thing that you would have to get back to us is all the marketing material, but but we're going to teach you how to go out there and market. We're going to teach you how to do everything, and we put all that at risk. We really do. And why is that? Because again, the last thing we would want anybody to feel like we have twisted their arm or given them wrong information or whatever it might be. We really want you to feel comfortable in your purchase here. And that's why we offer that. So it's right at $30,000 for those that are asking the question about cost and all that. So hopefully that helps you out. Alith is asking as one last question, can I do this part-time and work it at night? Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, if you've got some other things you want to do at evening or during the day and you want to do the billing at night, you certainly can. And Inez is, can we get the recording? Yes, this is being recorded. So it should be posted on our YouTube channel, probably no later than by tomorrow afternoon, if not Friday. So it'll be available then. So you can go back and listen to it all there. All right, so let's tell you what some next steps. First of all, I want you to make sure that you take down the phone number 866-565-8413. Give us a call here. Jay says, Eric, thank you. Great job. Very helpful. I appreciate it. I appreciate the help there. I love the feedback. Y'all have been great today. I love it. Remember I told you at the first part, there's a five steps to success. So I want you to get that. That's different than what I'm showing you here. This research guide is about a 65 page document. All you got to do is request this from your business coach that you're working with. They'll send you a link to that. Talking about the recording, we have a YouTube channel that not only do we have today's webinar that is being recorded, that'll be available in another day or so. But folks, if you missed last week's, go back and listen to last week's, and then the week before that, I think maybe towards the end of the year, I did an interview with Dr. Vicki Rackner. So there's the last couple of webinars that we've done. Go back and listen to some of those. I think they'll be very helpful. But you can just go find that at youtube.com/YABS. All of our webinars that we've ever done are out there. You can go check those out. While you're doing that, check in with your business coach and ask them to get an owner's reference list so you can start making some phone calls to some of these folks. I know two of these people actually are going to be very instrumental in helping you. One's going to be a trainer that does the training, so you can talk with her. The other is a guy that is part of our support team. That would be Tim Warren at the very bottom. So if you want to kind of get a twofer there, you could certainly ask the information for those folks there. Get a live demo done. I mentioned this to you already. If you haven't seen a live demonstration of the software, please get back with your business coach. Get that set up, folks. This is one of the best things that you'll do. As you kind of work through your due diligence here, it'll be very, very helpful. Then we don't send you this in a PDF anymore. It's a link now, but you can review the purchase agreement. It's about 5 pages long. One of the things I always kind of like to point out on that first page talks about the 30-day money back guarantee. So please get a copy of it. It didn't cost you anything to ask for it. Just look it over, read it over with your attorney. You're probably going to want to read it over with your business partner or spouse that you might be getting into business with. So get that downloaded. And then once you're ready, all you got to do is get it funded. And we've got training classes that we can probably get you started here within the next week or so. So since it's online, You can get started about just about any time. Each of those classes or those training lasts about 90 minutes long, give or take a little bit. Then there's a little bit of break between those that you get to do some homework, get ready for the next training. So that'll be very helpful for you. So again, if you don't know who your business coach is, call us at 866-565-8413. Shoot us an email at info@absystems.com. We'll be happy to help out what we can. Let's see. So Jay, thank you again. I appreciate your feedback. Demarius, thank you for your feedback. Appreciate that. Jerome, do you take credit card for the training or cash? We do take a credit card. Some people want to know that can we split it up between 2 or 3 credit cards? We could do that too. But yep, we can certainly help you out with that. No problem with that at all. What are the ongoing franchise fees for ABS? There are no ongoing franchise fees. So there are some people get us a little confused between a business opportunity and a franchise. There are no franchise fees. There's no royalty fees. That 30,000 is a one-time investment that includes everything and anything else that we add to the program and the platform or anything else that we do. Rochelle saying thank you very much for the information. Again, folks, I'm telling you, this hour goes by quickly. It's already the top of the hour. What is Murma's? What is Murma again? It's Murma, Murma. Now you got me thinking. You kind of got me confused there. I'll go back up to it. So it's the Medical Revenue Management Association of America. There we go. MRMAA. There you go. And if you want to go there, you can go to the website there, murma.org. So on hands, hopefully you can get that. Great. Brandon, thank you. Appreciate it. Good night, everybody. I appreciate everybody. I hope that you're having a great first of the year already. Folks, if you don't think about it too quickly, it'd be 2 weeks, man. We're already out of January. We'll be in February. So we want you to be a part of ABS. Come join us here as part of being our family here at American Business Systems. And if you can't make it already yet, just to get started with us, we will be here next Wednesday. Like I said, we're working on information for those that have questions about the whole thing about artificial intelligence. Will it take over medical billing? Will there still even be a business? Listen, you just heard Tonia. She told you right then and there. She's going to love it. Ryan, thank you for your time being on here with us this afternoon. Appreciate it. Everybody have a great evening, a great weekend. Stay warm wherever you might be. And we look forward to seeing you next Wednesday. Y'all have a good night, everybody. Bye-bye.